let's see. Okay, so I'm recording this just so we have it if we need to go back to it, and it will only be shared with other members, but not outside of this, so just so that you know. So, good morning, good morning, good morning. My name is Laura Slowinski, and I just want to welcome you to my group, and I'm really excited that you're here because I have a passion for being healthy, and I'm going to share with you why. And just for a few minutes, I have a picture that I'm going to show you, and I'm going to screen share. So it'll just take me a second. Screen share. Okay. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Beautiful.
So this is me and my husband, and I'm an absolutely blessed woman because he's an amazing man. And these are my two little girls. Now, this was taken 2 years ago, but it was like the best picture that I had of them together. And these two little girls and this man is my why. It's why I'm healthy, it's why I'm energetic, and it's why I am on a mission to help support anybody who is interested in being healthy. And it's very, very, very dear to my heart, and it's important to me. And what I just want to tell you is I have an agenda, and my agenda is I'm going to tell you what my story is. I'm going to tell you what I think the group is all about. I want to talk about little baby steps, how we can take baby steps to start our journey to get back to being healthy, and how to make some simple changes today so we can start today. I'm going to give you a bonus recipe. I made it this morning. It's protein bars and it's no bake. So I think you're going to like that. And then we'll talk about what our next week's meeting topic is going to be. And to let you know that I will not go over 40 minutes. So we'll probably be less, but I will watch the clock. So we're going to be good. So let's go ahead and get started. So I told you kind of my why I'm healthy, but I really didn't tell you what my story was. My story was, I'm going to give you a number, and the number was much higher, but the number that I'm going to give you is the number that I was at when I realized that I needed help, and that's 218 pounds. So at 218 pounds, I had 2 children. I never lost the baby fat, and I had a little bit of depression, and I was I didn't really feel like I knew a way out to start to get healthy again. But what I did know that I wanted to be able to move with my kids. I wanted to be around for a really long time. I wanted to be able to help my mom and my dad who live near me, and they're a lot older than me, of course. But I just wanted to be able to be effective in the fact that I was, I had the mindset and I had the clarity to help them with the things that they needed. And I couldn't do that at that state. So I started out, I went to Weight Watchers, and Weight Watchers taught me a lot. So a lot of the things that I'm going to share with you, I learned from the things that I learned in there, of the things that my family and I had just figured out along the way. And what I can say is I am not a registered nurse, and I'm not claiming to be anybody professional as far as like in the industry of being a doctor or anything like that. I can say that I am 187 pounds now, not 218. So I can say happily that I got my energy back. I've changed my habits. I've helped my family. I'm helping others, and I want to help you. And we can do it, and we're going to do it. So if you stick with me and you're patient, I'm going to give you the tools that you need. I have a lot of resources at my disposal, and you will learn that I'm a very, very busy woman. I help at the parish and volunteer. I go to the girls' school functions, and I help with my mom and my dad. I have a sister and brother. We have 2 kids. We do a lot of things with our family, and I'm a work-at-home mom. I do social media coaching, and the number one thing that I have learned about all of this is my family started switching up to organics. That seems to be really important factor for my health, and that's pretty much it. So enough about me. I want to tell you about the group. Now, this group, everybody, what will probably happen is in the first couple minutes of the group, when you come in, I want you to be able to say hi to each other. Lisa, this is Ava. Ava, this is Lisa. This is Deborah. Deborah, this is Ava. Deborah, this is Lisa. And
hi, buddy. Hi.
As we go on, we're going to get to know each other. We're going to find out that I even still probably have some bad habits, and we're going to help each other and support each other, and we're just going to learn how to overcome these things that we know we probably need to change, and we're going to be there for one another. So that's what I think this group is going to be about, in a nutshell. And let's get going. So one of the things I want to ask you guys is I want you to think about these things for a second. So we're going to talk about baby steps and how you can take baby steps to start being healthy today. You're not going to have to go out and buy anything. You're not going to have to do anything crazy or start any new diets. We're just talking about baby steps and habit changes, okay? And the first thing I want you to think about is, what is the first thing that you do in the morning when you wake up? And you don't have to say it, but I'm going to tell you what I do. The very first habit that I changed when I realized I needed to do something is the first thing I do when I get up in the morning is I drink a glass of water. I have a glass of water right in the bathroom, and that's the very first thing that I do. Before, it sounds funny, before I even get on the toilet, I just grab that water and I drink it. So that's the first thing. Now, another thing I want you to think about is, what types of meals are you preparing? Are you preparing, now I was preparing meals that were like pastas and like big meals, and I want you to think about that, because you can cut down your portion control. You can start doing that today, and I have a couple of tips that I'm going to give you. The first thing is, and I don't know if you know this, but when you're eating any type of meat or fish, your palm of your hand should be your serving size, okay? And if you didn't know that, that's a very good thing to start with. Now, that was never the portion size for me when I first started out. It really wasn't, because I love, love, love food. And I've learned along the way that sometimes it's okay to not love food, because it's really just supposed to be to continue to keep us healthy. A lot of it is not really supposed to taste all that good, and we're not supposed to be eating it for comfort. It's supposed to be keeping us healthy. That's it. And so I teach that to my daughters, that, when they say, I don't like this, sometimes I say to them, I don't either. But you know what? I know it's got good nutrients, and I just keep eating it, okay? There are some things that you may never eat. That's okay. But you just kind of are going to have to gravitate for some of the things that you try, you like, and then you can constantly update what you're eating. So that's a good thing. So here's the other thing. Do you look at labels? And I ask this because all of you may look at labels, but what are you looking at? Are you looking at the carbs? Are you looking at the sugars? Are you looking at the sodium? And are you looking to see if it's certified organic? What's important to you? And why is that important to you? Now, Weight Watchers this past year, they have program changes. And this past year, they did a program change. And the way that they calculate their points right now is generally, well, it is a calculation, but it's sugar. It's all about the sugar. And the added sugar that is in pretty much most things that are out there in the market right now is not very healthy for us. So that's one thing. The sodium, I know, I used to blow it up a lot because I was choosing foods and products that had a lot of sodium in it. And I remember one time my hands and my arms would fall asleep on me, like at nighttime when I was in bed. I was sleeping, but they would get numb, and it would actually wake me up. And I found out that if I cut down my sodium in the levels that's just like the recommended levels, if I cut them down, that didn't happen anymore. So that I just kind of figured out process of elimination. And now let me talk about sugar. Sugar is our worst enemy right now, and they say that according to Weight Watchers. But I've also found that when I was an avid stopping person at Starbucks, and I have to say I was there every single day, Monday through Friday. When I worked, I was in a corporate job. It was very stressful. And that's where I was every morning before I went to work. I made the time to stop there. And anyway, what I realized was, so when I was in Weight Watchers, I could still have that. But instead of doing it Monday through Friday, I did it maybe once a week. And instead of getting the Venti, which is the really big one, I just got the small one. And so I didn't totally cut it out, but I just cut down. And that was a big difference too, because even now, when I still feel like I have a lot of, I still have ways to go with my weight and where I want to be with what I feel is going to be the most comfortable for me. I still go to Starbucks. And every once in a while, I switch it up. And my favorite was the chai tea. So instead of the chai tea, which had tons of sugar in it, I may now just have a tea that has like a splash of something, like lemon or something like that. And that suffices. Now, every once in a while, I really do want that chai tea, and I just go and I get the small one, and then my urge is gone. And that I can say maybe once a month now, so it's a big difference. And it was a habit that I needed to change. So, and the other thing is the organic. You see, organics, I was going to say for my girls, and this is something that I learned also, that there's a lot of products out there who has a lot of their chemicals in the products. I found out that like in 1985, there was 20,000 chemicals that they were allowed to put in all of the different foods and the products that we use. And when I found that out, I started doing a whole bunch of research. So now every possibility that I can find for my kids, for my family, I go USDA organic. And I'm learning all of these different things, probably more than I really want to know. And what I can say about that is our family has swapped up just as much as we can. We've reduced the number of things that we bring into the house that aren't organic. And you kind of see that there's a lot of crap out there per se. And it's crazy. Like certain things that I've realized is you have companies out there who call themselves, the name of the company is Organics. And I want to say the first one that comes to mind is Baby Organics. So Baby Organics, you would think they're an organic company. They're not. They don't have a seal that says USDA organic on it. They're just a company that anybody can name their company an organic company. But what you really need to do, part of what I'm trying to get the message across, is we need to start looking at our labels. And so here's 3 things that you can start today. Is you can start, definitely the changes that you can make today is start drinking more water. And if you're already drinking water, drink some more. In our family, if the girls have a headache, if the girls have a stomach ache, the first thing I tell them to do is the first thing I ask them is, how much water have you had today? And most of the time, I'm going to say the majority of the time, they tell me it's less than what they really needed. And they know that now. And they're only 8 and 10. So I say to them, go drink a big glass of water and tell me how you feel after that. And 95% of the time when they go and do that, whatever that was ailing them, either they got distracted and they're not anymore, or really it's like dehydration. I know when I was at my corporate job, I would sit in my chair and I would say pretty much 1:45, 2 o'clock, 2:10 every single day, I would kind of get tired. And I would feel like, you know what, I think I need some caffeine. But what it really was, and I didn't learn that until this year, is dehydration. The very first thing, symptom of dehydration is sleepiness. So if you feel like you're getting sleepy, really, you should just be drinking more water. And anyway, so I really wish I would have known that back when I was in my corporate job, because I realized that's what was happening is people would come and they would ask me to do things, and I would sit in my office all day long, and I wouldn't drink any water. And so by the end, by 1:45, 2 o'clock, I would get in at 6:30 in the morning. Yes, I went and had lunch, but if I'm not constantly drinking water, that's where it was coming from. And gosh, so boy, do I wish that I would have known that then, that I could have just been drinking more water and instead of all that caffeine. So, lesson learned, right?
Mhm.
So let's talk about snacks. What do you guys, gals, plan your snacks? Like, what kind of snacks do you eat?
Chips.
You eat chips. Okay, that's an honest answer. Okay,
Chips.
chips. Okay. What about you, Ava?
Yes, potato chips,
Potato-
Doritos.
Okay,
Right.
Yeah.
Anything with salt that comes in a bag.
okay. So, okay, that's okay, because here's the thing. So, one change that you can make the next time you're at the grocery store is look at the sodium on the bags. And one of the next meetings, we'll talk about serving size, and we're going to look at the labels, and we're going to look at educating ourselves about the serving sizes. And when you look at the labels, what do they mean? And I tell you, this is really important, because I'll give you my mom as an example. She was buying tomato sauce, and one can would be tomato sauce that was, let's say, 500 grams of sodium. But there were 16 servings in the one can. So you have to take 16 servings and multiply it by 500. That's how much sodium is in that one can.
Wow.
And she was just thinking that it was just one serving in that one can, 560 grams or 500 grams of sodium. So that's why in our next meeting, we're going to talk about labels. We're going to talk about what we can look at. We're going to talk about how to read them, how to understand them, and you guys can ask questions. So it's my idea to bring the attention of this stuff to you guys. And one of the things that that I like to do is, because I have girls, we're always thinking about different types of snacks. And I'll show you what I did this morning. Was this is a 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, this is a 5-ingredient, no bake protein bar snack. And I have, you guys have cameras, right?
Yep.
Mhm.
Do you have a cell phone? Okay, I'm going to screen share again, and I'm going to let you know, if you want to take a picture of this, you can, because here's the recipe. these are the ingredients. It's 1 cup of old-fashioned oats, 2 scoops of chocolate protein powder. I can tell you what I use, but just chocolate protein powder you can get at the store. A 1/2 cup of milk, 1 cup of peanut butter, and 3 tablespoons of honey. Okay, you can add almond oil, you can add flaxseed if you want. I added pecans to mine because I love pecans. I love nuts. So and all you do is you combine the milk, the peanut butter, and the honey in a large bowl. And then if you want to stick it in the microwave just to warm it up a little bit, you can do that. And you add the rest of it. And then you take a pan and you line it with, you can do parchment paper or tin foil, doesn't matter. And then you mix it up evenly, and then you put it in the bottom of the pan, and then you freeze it. I freeze it. This recipe is like 15 minutes, but the one today is, I did it before I left for my walk and when I got back. So it was in there for like an hour. But when I got back, are you guys done taking pictures?
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay. So when I got back from my walk, I went to the fridge. Now here's a trick. If you pull the tin foil out with the protein and put it on the counter before you cut it, then you don't have to worry about the edges of the pan. That's just a little tip that I've learned. But then you cut it on the counter, and you can cut it into bars. This, usually a bar probably is about like this big. Is a pretty good size. And it's really good. So that is, it took me like maybe 10 minutes to put it together. And then I tasted it. They taste pretty good. This is something that my girls will eat too. They will eat this. And if I want to check any recipe to find out if people are going to like it, I give it to them because if I know that if they don't like it, then there's something about it that's just not quite right. And they're pretty good about telling me, pretty honest about saying, Mom, that needs a little bit more flavor, or it's too chocolatey, or can you cut down on this? So I listen to them because they have really good palates, and they seem to be able to pick it up better than I can sometimes. So that's a good way for a snack. And here's, I don't know if this is still out there, but here's a book. Hopefully that's not backwards, but it's called Delish, Just 4 Ingredients Fast. And I picked this book up at Kohl's, actually. They always have these books that are Kohl's Care books. They're committed to kids' health and education. And usually, I don't know, usually they're like $5 or something. And that's where I got it. But if you like the 4 Ingredients Fast, this is a pretty good book. It gives you like breakfast ideas, snack ideas, and I'll share a lot of things that I do too, but I just thought that this sometimes saves me for dinner because I can pull it out real quick and I can just grab it, check to see if I have the ingredients, look in the cupboard, and then boom, I can just make it real quick, for dinner. But you can also do meal planning, and, I don't know. I have 4 people to feed. So meal planning for me, I have to do prep and grocery shopping and stuff like that. So I have to do all that ahead of time. You guys may not need to do that. I'm thinking faster than I can talk. How many people are you cooking for, Ava?
4.
4. Okay. And what about you, Lisa?
It's just me and my husband.
Okay. And what about you, Deborah?
2.
2. Okay. So you're 2. You guys are, or you gals are 2, Lisa and Deborah, and then I'm 4, and then Ava's 4. So, okay. And I'll remember that because I know it's really different. And I know that if you have a family, like I know you do, Lisa, but they're grown up, right? So you're probably used to cooking for more people. And sometimes my mom has a hard time figuring out how to cook just for her, and a very small amount. So we're lucky because some nights she'll call me and she'll say, I overcooked again. Would you like to come for dinner? And we're like, sure. So now she just takes one night and she cooks us dinner, which we really appreciate. But there are ways that you can do things. Like, for instance, if you guys have a Costco near you, we found this past week, and it's salmon burgers. Does anybody have any of you ever had a salmon burger?
No.
No.
Does anybody like salmon?
It's all right.
Okay. Well, I'm kind of the type of person where I don't really like fish. It has to be something that I like with the flavors. And what I realized with me is I like salmon with lemon. So a little bit of butter, a little bit of lemon, I can eat it. Now, of course, I also like it with marinade that has like brown sugar all over it. I really like that too. But because I want to continue my journey, maybe that's okay every once in a while. But for the most part, so we went to Costco, and in the freezer section, they have like a stack. I want to say there may be 8 or 10 burgers, but they're called salmon patties. And I have a George Foreman. Does anybody have a George Foreman grill?
I do.
You do. Okay. You can, it's starting to get nice out, so you can grill them on a regular grill also, and I believe you can even bake them. But I use my George Foreman grill a lot, and 3 minutes, I can cook 3 of them in 3 minutes, pull them out of straight from the freezer, throw them on the grill, and they're done, And you can put, I like lemon on it. My husband likes an avocado. Listen to this. He wanted avocado dill sauce. An avocado dill sauce. I made that for him last week, and he loved it. It was so easy. It was crazy, incredible. And he likes me to continue to do that. And I had, for the first time, started liking avocados. And so we can do some of those recipes later, also. So, but avocado dill sauce, I guess, goes really well with salmon if you want to try it. But there's another thing that you can do is Costco salmon burgers. I've found that they're pretty tasty. So anyway, I think that's about wrapping it up. I didn't want to go too long, and I think we covered a lot today. And what's the first thing that you're going to do tomorrow when you wake up?
Well, first I'm going to ask you, what is the chocolate protein powder? What kind do you use?
What kind do I use?
Yeah.
I use an organic kind, and it's called Chocolate Kiss.
Where do you get it?
You can get it from me, and you can just message me on Facebook.
Okay.
I can tell you, but you can go into like Whole Foods. Whole Foods has protein powder. That's why I want to go over to the labels with you guys, because I want to go over what is the best type of ingredients to be looking for. And but Whole Foods is a pretty good place to go. Trader Joe's, I haven't shopped there too much, but I've heard that they really do have a good selection. Aldi has now many more organic ingredients in there. The company probably about 6 months ago, or maybe a year ago, I forget about the timing, but the organic market is really growing, and people are realizing more and more what's going on. And so the organic market, not Trader Joe's, Aldi, the company Aldi made a promise to their customers about a year ago that said they would start putting more USDA organic products in their store, and they're really going to be price conscious about that. And so I've also seen organic products in Walmart, and now they're showing up in my just regular local grocery store. So that's kind of a good thing too. So next week we're going to talk about, we're going to go over the labels, and we're going to understand what they're all about. We're going to talk about the serving size and how you calculate them. And yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. How about that? Does that sound okay?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay.
Yes.
And then Lisa and I kind of, before you gals got on earlier, we were talking about maybe doing something like a Facebook page. I'm going to think about that. Maybe we can put some of these recipes up there.
That'd
And,
be good.
you know, as we learn and move forward, I might need like a page role, somebody to help me with the page if we do that. So think about, if you're interested, let me know.
I'll help you.
Okay, that was easy. All right, so I'll create, before the next meeting, I'll create a page, and you know, we'll just put everybody in the group there, and if anybody wants to join, you know, add their things, or if they learn about things. But okay, so I just have one more tip, and then we're gonna wrap it up. So my tip to you ladies who are doing the chips, so I want you to go in, the next time you buy your chips, I want you to look at what the sodium levels are, okay? And think about looking around at the other chips that are near there, and just looking to see if there are other ones that have lower sodium levels. And,
Mine has 240 mg.
okay, and is that per serving? How many servings are in that bag?
I don't know. Where does it tell you how many servings? I don't see that.
It should be on the top left.
I would say 1.
What bag is it? Okay, I don't know. You have to be careful because sometimes those big bags are actually 2 servings. But usually, you're right, Lisa, they're usually 1. So, okay.
No, I mean 1 bag is 1 serving.
Okay.
Well, it says 1 ounce, 11 crisps. Servings per container is about 6.
6 servings. Okay. So whatever the amount is, you have to multiply
Right.
that by 6.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. All right. You know what? It's okay because we're learning. There's no judgment here, and that's all I want to do is we want to educate ourselves about these things, and we're all going to learn stuff. And one thing I'm going to suggest is the way that I did it is I just took one thing and said, I want to work on this right now. And then we learn about it. Do we want to change it? You have to say to yourself in your head, and you have to say the mindset. You're gonna have to make up your mind and be committed that you want to change whatever one thing you want to work on. And then you need to work on it. And once you change that habit, sometimes it takes up to 2-3 weeks of doing the same thing every day to change that habit. So this is not something that's going to be a quick fix. We're going to continue to learn stuff, and we're going to support each other. And there's going to be days where we're going to eat that whole entire bag. And then another day is going to come, and then that day is gone. And then we're going to continue to go back to what we know, what we want to get to. So, and that's going to be absolutely okay. So this is a journey, and all we're doing is getting educated about it, learning about the information, and then making a commitment to start to become more healthy. And that's it. So I'll leave you with, if you got value today, we're going to have new members coming in all the time. If you have friends or family members that want to join us, just tell them to go and join the group. We would be really happy to have them. And if you are going to be coming to next week's, just if you wouldn't mind, go in and just RSVP so that we can have an idea who's going to be here. And that's it. That's all I had. Does anybody have any questions before we wrap it up?
Nope.
Nope.
Thank you.
Nope. Okay. So I hope everybody has a great day, and I'm available you guys can message me, email me, whatever, if you have questions. I'm available for you guys to do that. I don't mind. And I hope when you wake up tomorrow, you have that glass of water before you do anything else. And I would consider that to be a success. So we'll let you go. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week. Okay?
Okay, bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.
Okay, have a great day.
Thank you. You too.
You're welcome.